If you happen to be Catholic or just someone who has been to church recently and you recognize some of those hymns, in fact, that's actually what's going on in the streets of Paris on this night. People have been gathering at or near the cathedral, tourists included, flocking to an area not far from where the actual fire is. And as the building burns, they are singing Catholic hymns and gathering, as people often do in moments like these, to seemingly gain strength from each other as they see what is one of the most iconic buildings in the history of their country. And let's go once again to some of the live pictures that we still have coming in. Now remember, it's dark now, and what you'll see is not so much the flames, but still the smoke. For those of you wondering, no, the fire is not under control at this point. This is, by the way, one of the most visited sites in all the world. And the cathedral, we should, see the water on the right? They're still trying to deal with what's left of the fire. They say it's not under control yet. This cathedral, by the way, was undergoing a massive renovation, which has construction experts around the world now pointing to the fact that that may be the potential cause of the fire. Experts in construction say that fires are common in projects like this, especially because of sparks that are caused by welders that are working on the project. Now, these are live pictures. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Pardon me. These are not live pictures. These are pictures that we got just a few hours before going on the air. These are the pictures where you could see some of the, not just the smoke billowing, but the flames there as well. By the way, this flame erupted sometime around 6:30 p.m. there, Paris time. News of the fire spread rapidly. It was all over social media. We here at RT started reporting it immediately. In fact, we were one of the first to report this story globally. Fire crews have been battling the fire for hours now, and I think I mentioned this earlier, but it behooves to be said that it appears at this point that at least two of the rectangular towers have been saved, or at least firefighters are saying now they think they're going to be able to save, though not all of the church, a good part of the church. There it is in that picture that you can see some of the scaffolding that was put up, and as construction workers were trying to put this whole thing together once again. Again, it's not going to be a total destruction. At least that's what firefighters are saying at this point. One other very important note we should share at this point. We've just learned, in fact, and we'll have maybe some more on this in just a minute, we have just learned here at RT that Paris prosecutors say they will open up an investigation into the fire itself, the cause of the fire, and other elements associated. Late Monday, prosecutors started to say that their preliminary findings suggested the huge fire was started accidentally, but that they will investigate it nonetheless. Let's do this. RT's Charlotte Dubenskij has been one of the intrepid reporters there on the streets of Paris, following this story throughout the course of the day. She sent us this story from that particular location just moments ago.
Flames still engulfing this iconic building here in Paris. 850-odd years of history going up in smoke. The firefighters trying to dampen down those flames and have been doing so now for the last few hours. But it looks like that internal flame is still engulfing the heart of Notre Dame. Some of those images show basically the entirety of the center of this famous cathedral is on fire. We understand from reports that the roof has collapsed, and that fire has also caused the famous spire on the inside to collapse. So huge was this fire that when we arrived here just a few hours ago, the flames were actually licking at the two famous bell towers at the front of Notre Dame, some 69 meters high. In fact, Notre Dame was at one point the tallest building in Paris until it was taken over by the Eiffel Tower. Well, President Macron of France has been here tonight to witness this tragedy, and that's how he described it, as a national tragedy, echoing the thoughts and views of many people who've just spent all evening watching as this piece of iconic infrastructure has gone up in flames. Notre Dame, a place where millions visit every year. People will perhaps who's never seen Notre Dame before will never get to see it in its glory. It's not clear yet what started this fire, but we do know that restoration work had been ongoing for the last year. That was after an appeal by the French Catholic Church last year. They were looking for donations to try and save this iconic building because it was crumbling away. Well, it's not crumbling away anymore. It's gone up in ashes. Charlotte Dubenskij for News with Rick Sanchez.
Thank you, Charlotte. Just to give you a little thumbnail historical perspective on why this particular building is so important. It was built around 1163 under the reign of King Louis VII. They finished building this thing in 1345. Now listen to this. Talk about historic import. Henry VI of England was made King of France inside of that building that you see right there. Napoleon Bonaparte was crowned emperor there in 1804, or as some would say, crowned himself. And in 1909, prior to that, Joan of Arc, who had helped France battle the English and was burned at the stake centuries earlier, she was beatified in the cathedral by Pope Pius X. Joan of Arc, beatified right there at that cathedral. And I believe that must have been, what year was that, Joe? It says here 1909. Obviously, that's not correct. That must have been in the 17 or 1600s. 1700s. 1804. Thank you. Thank you. We had a typo in some of the scripts here, and I wanted to make sure that was accurate. So the irony in all of this is the following. They were literally trying to fix this church because it was, quote, in desperate need of repairs and restoration. And in the process of repairing it, in the process of restoring it, we may have lost it. I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.